babies. Welcome to In the Kitchen with Khalilah. And have I got a treat for you today? So, you know, us working parents, we always looking for something quick and easy to make during the week. After working and dealing with kids and doing homework, you just want something that's not going to have you slaving over a stove, for hours. I don't know what your favorite protein to work with, whether it's, pork chops or beef, but mine is chicken breast. I prefer chicken breast because chicken breast can be prepared in a plethora of ways. You can fry it, you can saute it, you can bake it, you can cut it up and add it in pasta. You can just do it all kind of ways. You can air fry it. And I know a lot of people are kind of like, scared to deal with them because they have the tendency to get dry, but it's all about keeping them moist and what kind of seasonings and how you prep them to keep them nice and plump and juicy. So, I'm going to be giving you a meal today that's tasty and easy. It's fancy enough where you can serve it for a dinner party or for Sunday dinner, yet quick and easy enough where you can go ahead and make it during the week. We're going to make today spinach and pepper jack stuffed chicken breast with a seasoned rice pilaf. Chicken breast. And we're going to make this a creamy spinach mixture. It's not just going to be dry spinach and cheese. We're going to make it nice and buttery and creamy. And we're going to stuff those chicken breasts. And we're going to make this right. Ooh, my mouth just watered just think about it. We're going to make that rice pilaf, baby. And we're going to grub. Do you hear me? So I know I'm hungry. And I'm sure that you guys are hungry too. So we're going to get these together. And we're going to get started right after this break on In the Kitchen with Khalilah. Right here on Taste on TV. So now we're going to prepare our creamy spinach and pepper jack stuffing that we're going to put in our chicken breast. What we're going to start with is a stick of butter. Not margarine, but butter. With butter, you want to be careful because butter has a very low burn point, which means that it burns fairly quickly. So you don't want to melt it too fast because then it's going to turn brown and it's going to make your seasonings, turn brown too, and you don't want that. So we're going to let that butter melt slowly, and I have it on about number 4, which is a medium low heat. Okay, so as the butter is melting, if you want, you can go ahead and add your chopped garlic in there and let that start sauteing in the butter. So we're going to go ahead for a second and let that butter completely melt and let that garlic start turning brown and getting aromatic in a skillet in the butter. So now that the butter's completely melted And as you can see, the garlic is turning a light brownish color. What we're going to do, we're going to saute our spinach. What I use is 2 10-ounce bags of fresh spinach. Spinach tends to wilt and cook down a lot, so I'd rather have too much than not enough. So we're going to do both 10-ounce bags, and if you have more than enough for your breast, it is perfect to just use with tortilla chips and have a spinach dip. So we're going to go ahead and saute our fresh spinach in the butter. And then I'll cover it and come back a few minutes later, stir it, and then add more and let that cook down too. So it kind of like steams down. And let that cook down for a few minutes. Then we're gonna come back and check it. All right, my baby, see how that spinach has wilted down some? It still needs to cook a little bit more, but I just wanted to show you guys how it's reducing. So make sure you stir it occasionally so you can bring the leaves that's at the top down into the bottom. And the water from the spinach is at the bottom of the skillet, and that's pretty much what it's steaming the spinach into. See, as I stir it and move it around, it reduces more. Isn't that pretty? Now see what I was saying, guys, how much that has reduced, and that was 2 10-ounce bags of fresh spinach. So now we want to season the spinach before we add the other elements. So we're going to use our basic seasonings again. Little Creole seasoning. Garlic powder. And onion powder. Stir that up. And you don't have to cook this till it's totally tender, because of course it's going to cook some more while it's inside of the chicken breast. So let's taste that little leaf and see. Make sure, and this is how you can make sure that you don't need to add any more seasonings and stuff like that. Perfect. You know what, in New Orleans, growing up, when my mom used to cook spinach, she used to saute spinach with garlic and onions and put boiled eggs on it. Have y'all ever seen that before? Sauteed spinach and boiled eggs. And when I tell you, it was the most amazing thing ever. I don't know if they do that in other regions or not, but if you haven't tried, just take you some spinach and some butter and some onions and some garlic and saute it down and boil you some eggs. And eat that on the side of a dish. I'm telling you, talking about some good eating, baby. So now that that's pretty much sauteed down, we're going to go ahead and add a half of an 8-ounce block of cream cheese in there. And let that melt through. And then after the cream cheese is pretty much, melted, it's going to cook some more. We're going to add 1 cup of heavy whipping cream. We're going to stir that through. Don't that look amazing? And we're going to let that come back to a nice little simmer before we add in our 2 cups of pepper jack cheese. And I like to wait until all my cream cheese is dissolved before I add the actual shredded pepper jack cheese. And what I'm going to add is 2 cups of shredded pepper jack. Alright, so let's go ahead and we're going to sprinkle in our pepper jack cheese. And this is going to help this spinach cream sauce thicken, and bind together to go into the chicken breast. See how nice and creamy as the cheese melt? That is. Now once this is done and it's all melted, the best thing to do, I like to take it off the heat and let it cool, because as it cools, it gets stiffer and then it makes it easier to put inside the chicken breast. So let's go ahead and turn it off. We're going to move it off the eye and bring it back to our prep space and let it cool for a few minutes and then stuff inside the chicken breast. And I'll show you that concept in a second. All right, my babies. So now that our spinach filling has pretty much cooled down to where it's pretty thick, what we're gonna do now is stuff it inside the chicken breast. So open the folds that you have cut into the chicken breast, and what you want to do is put about a spoonful of the dip inside of it. And I'm going to go ahead and warn you, you may lose some of your filling through the cooking process, but you're going to have plenty that's still in there. You know what I'm saying? So, and after you close it, you want to secure it with toothpicks. That helps keeps the chicken together and the filling inside. And if it's spilling out, you know, that's fine. That just means that, you know, it's going to cook in that dip also, and it's going to be surrounded with it, okay? Let's just go ahead and fill the rest of them. And if you don't want that much, it's totally up to you in each breast. But I just like to overfill them. That way, you know, it'll retain most of it inside the chicken breast. Also, a tip that I like to do, I'll stand them on the side and leave the open end up in the pan. And that kind of helps alleviate some of the leakage also. And if you want to eat this dip later, be sure not to touch the chicken with the spoon that you're filling these with. Because then, you know, you're going to have to throw it all out, because at this time, the filling is going to be contaminated. So just try to be very careful about filling them if you're going to have any left over and you know you're going to want to use it for something else, or, you know, eat it later. Also, if you like artichoke, you can put some artichoke in your filling, and you can also do shrimp. I've done it with shrimp, sauteed shrimp, and you can add the shrimp in and saute that with the garlic in that process if you wanted spinach and shrimp stuff chicken breast. So now that all the chicken breasts are stuffed, we'll add a few little parsley flakes on there for baking. And I like to add a pat of butter on top of each one. What this does is kind of like helps the chicken give a nice brown golden color when it bakes. Butter always helps gets a nice little coating and crust on that baked chicken. And also, to keep it juicy, we're going to pour just a little Italian dressing in between the breasts. Not too much though. And that also is going to give it a nice little juicy, and it keeps your breast from drying out. So we're going to go ahead and bake this in a preheated 350 degree oven, uncovered, for about 30 to 45 minutes until your chicken is golden brown and the juices run clear, okay? And we're gonna go ahead and put this in the oven, then we're gonna start on our rice pilaf. Now that we have our rice over on the stove coming to a boil, we're gonna go ahead and chop up our veggies for rice pilaf. We got a half an onion, half a green bell pepper, half a yellow bell pepper, and half a red bell pepper. So let's go ahead. You want to chop these up, you know, pretty fine, because this is what's going to be stored through your stirred through your rice. So you're going to cut your onion long ways, all the way across. Turn it sideways, and then dice it. And you're going to repeat the same process with your peppers. I turn them on their back, cut them long ways. So to start your seasoning mixture for your rice pilaf, what you want to do is, in the skillet, melt 1 stick of butter. Not margarine, not oleo, but butter. So as your butter is melting, you can go ahead and add your chopped veggies in and start sauteing those. And this is what's going to be stirred through your cooked rice once it's done. And you want to saute these until the onions are transparent. So they pretty much almost caramelized. So just keep frying them until they're really soft. You want all these veggies to be really soft. That smells so amazing. And I like to keep it moving and stir it to keep it from burning and sitting in one spot too long. So we can go ahead and season this mixture with a little Creole seasoning. Our basic stuff. Onion powder. Garlic powder. Some parsley flakes. And we're going to do some black pepper in there. So now that our veggies are done, I'm going to go ahead and turn this off and move it to the back side so it can stop cooking. And then I'm going to show you how to stir it into your cooked rice. Alright, my babies, so let's see how the rice looking. Perfect. This is how your rice should look. See how all the water then cooked out. Now, I didn't stir this at all once I reduced the heat. This is how you want your rice to look. So we're going to take it and we're going to fluff it some with the rice spoon. And it's still a little wet. But that's okay. Because we're going to let it steam some more after we add the vegetables into it. So let's go ahead and add our seasoned vegetable mixture, the butter, all that. You want all that to go in there. Into the white rice, and we're going to stir that through. And we're going to put this rice, we're going to cover it back up. See how good that looks? We're going to cover that back up, put it back on a low heat, and let it steam for about 5 to 10 more minutes until it gets a little bit more dry, okay? Don't think twice. Come on, in the kitchen with Khalilah. Come on home, in the kitchen with Khalilah. I am so excited about this meal. The smells, the process, the visuals. Oh my God, I can't wait to taste it. Everything is done. The rice is cooked perfectly. The chicken breast is beautiful and brown. And I think it's time to plate this food up and eat. What y'all say? Because if y'all as hungry as me, it's time to grub. So let's get this plated up and see. So we're going to start with this rice pilaf first. I'm going to plate that. Nice little heaping spoon. On the plate. Those colors, the bell peppers, the onions, everything just looks so colorful and beautiful and fragrant. And this is a perfect meal. You got your starch, your protein, which is the chicken, and your vegetable, which is the spinach inside the breast. So this is perfect. Oh my God, that looks absolutely delicious. Don't think twice. Come on, in the kitchen with Khalilah. Come on home, in the kitchen with Khalilah. Man, didn't that look absolutely delicious? There's only one thing left for us to do. Let's try it. I'm so excited, y'all. It looks so good. Chicken is nice and juicy. Not dry at all. Let's see here. Got me a nice little piece of chicken. Put me a little rice on there. Get a little piece of chicken. Amen. Baby, we did that. This is so delicious. Quick, easy, flavorful. It is so freaking amazing. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed this meal as much as I did. I'm going to go ahead and go finish my plate. But before we go, you know there's one more thing I need y'all to do. To grab your towels, your napkin, handkerchiefs, or whatever you have. And I'll see you next week on In the Kitchen with Khalilah. Right here on Taste on TV. Let's roll this thing out, baby.
Rock with me, rock with me.